All right, we're live. All right, perfect. Again, any questions at anything like that in the middle, just let me know. This is for you guys. And I want to make sure that you get the most out of it. If you've got your PDFs open, we will touch on those. So I recommend keeping those open. Anybody not get that email? Or I can send it right now if anybody can get it. No, everybody good? All right, so here's what we're talking about. We're talking about building your foundation. We're talking about knowing your numbers, goal setting and planning, marketing and lead generation, financial planning expenses, and help and accountability. So as we all know, we talk about those a lot, but I want to put some action items in place for you guys today and really help you hit the ground running. I've got a little 90-day power hour challenge for those that want to jump on board here in a little bit. Again, this is for you guys to help you. Thanks for taking the time to attend today. Again, like I said in the email, I'm excited you guys are here. It does show that you actually care and you're not just trying to be, your average agent. It tells me a lot and shows that you're trying to be, again, above and beyond your typical agent. So you're here because you guys are committed versus just interested. You're here because you love this business and you're in it to win it, as cheesy as that might sound. You're here because you want to get better versus be average. And you're here because you want to plan. You don't want to wing it. And I think in the last handful of years, I think we can all agree, we've been somewhat forced to wing it because it has been so busy and fruitful. A lot of us have kind of gone by the wayside from a systems and accountability standpoint. So long story short, I'm glad you guys are here. So the goal for today is to help you guys get started with your business plan. You all should have received that email. Dio, you jumped on a little late. Did you get that email, the PDF? I hope Dio can hear us. So we'll reviewing some of the business plan on today's session. Our focus for today is to help you guys get started with your business plan so you can use the template we provided and apply what we cover today to your plan. Your business plan is unique to you and you'll want to carve out some quiet time planning to complete your plan. As a follow-up today's session, if you're open to additional guidance with your plan, as always, those that know me, I'm here to help you guys. We'll talk about that more at the end of today's session. So again, we're going to get started, give you a plan, be your coach, accountability partner. So do you need a business plan? I think a lot of us know that we do, but in today's world, things change quickly. You do have to be flexible and open to change, but having a business plan will help you focus on your most important priorities and the right activities to help you make progress and, most importantly, be profitable. Think of your business plan as a GPS to set your course in the right direction, help you navigate along the way to make sure you don't veer off course and get lost. Make sense, everybody? Now let's get started. I got a couple thumbs up. All right, there's a saying, if you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. One key trait of agents who survive this business, are profitable, and enjoy a quality of life is knowing their numbers. It's very important. So question here, what are your top lead sources from this year? By top lead sources, I mean highest converting and profitable. Do you know how many transactions from each lead source? How about the average listing sold price for each lead source? Would you agree that these lead sources have room for further improvement? There are things you could be doing to improve your ROI from those lead sources. You guys all agree? Get a little feedback, I think, from Sarah's end. There we go. Perfect. Thank you. All right, so let's jump into it here. Important, again, track your numbers. Here are some of the most important numbers to measure and track in your business. We've got conversations, conversions to appointments, appointments to listings and buyer agreements, listings to closed transactions, commissions earned, and cost per lead. So would you agree knowing these numbers is important? How would you guys score yourself on a scale from 1 to 10 for tracking these numbers? Do you guys agree? Again, we got some room for improvement. I should ask real quick. Who tracks this already? Anybody? Ryan says 50-50 sometimes. Anybody else want to jump in? Dio says, yep. Sarah says, I try. Awesome. Appreciate the feedback. All right, so let's unpack some of these a bit further here. And I guess cost per sale. Sorry, I forgot about that one too. All right, so conversations. Conversations is what drives sales. We've got lead quality, contact strategy, dialogue scripting, and mindset. How many conversations you have could reveal something about the quality of your leads, your contact strategy, or the dialogue or scripting you use. If you're cold calling, you'll have far fewer conversations per hour than if you're calling warm leads or your database. You guys agree? So your mindset is the most important part of having conversations. A low conversion ratio could also indicate a mindset issue around calling, talking about your business, asking for appointments or referrals, etc. So the question you got to think about now is, what's your mindset? So here we've got Tim Smith from Coldwell Banker. Tim's personal production is over 500 million. His number one success secret is when you call your database and add new people and have conversations, good things will happen. So Tim's daily action plan, and you guys might have heard of this. I've heard it before in several different kind of realms. Kevin, who works with me, we hear it down in our sales summit down in Dallas, but it's 5542. So he's having 5 conversations with people that he knows. So past clients, sphere of influence, et cetera. 5 conversations with people that you don't know. So any new leads, whether it's been a couple days or a couple months, always good to kind of revisit those. And then 4 conversations with lead follow-ups, leads you've connected with in the past who haven't yet done business with you. And then 2 videos per week minimum. This is a newer thing for a lot of us on the social media side. It doesn't just mean putting videos on social media. I know a lot of us are putting a lot of attention towards social media right now, but a lot of that can be looked at as just kind of casting a very wide net with not a ton of intention or effectiveness. So videos per week, for example, I have a closing today, send a video this morning, happy closing day, let us know if you need anything to help. Those help increase your brand, increase people get familiar with you. So I guess who here feels that they can make some improvements in the conversation numbers? Anybody doing this already? Anything similar to this? At least a couple calls a day? No, Ryan's up, down, yes, around, a little bit of everything. Perfect. So if conversations equals transactions, couldn't it help you to know how many conversations you need to have to equal 1 transaction? Let's take a look at a formula that you guys can use. And again, remember, these are just arbitrary numbers. Everybody's going to have their own kind of calculation here. For example, Ryan might be a 10 conversation guy that gets, turns into 1 transaction. That's phenomenal. Some other people might take 40, 50, 60. It's a lot, but if you're cold calling, that's what the numbers actually look like. So use this rule of thumb. Take the number of transactions you want to do, multiply that number by 40. For every 40 people that you dialogue, which means phone, text, video conferencing, direct message, where there's some reference to your business, you should have 1 closed transaction. And remember, the goal of conversations is to book appointments. That's a metric you should be tracking as well. We'll go over that in a second. Your number of conversations to close transaction may be lower than 40. It may be higher. It will vary based on who you're talking with and your skills. The real question is, do you know your numbers? So let's use a goal of 24 transactions in a 12-month period. We take 24 transactions, multiply that by 40 conversations, and we get 960 total conversations for the year to equal 24 transactions. Everybody follow me so far? Yeah, got some head nods. Apologies, I'm still fighting the sore throat from 2 months ago from COVID. All right, so now if we look at, let's break down the 960 total conversations per month and per day. For simple math, we'll use 10 months and we'll factor in holidays, vacations, etc. Let's take 960 conversations divided by 10 months. You've got 96 conversations per month. If you divide that by 20 working days in the month, what do you get? Drum roll, please. 4.8. So we'll round that up to 5. So 5 conversations per day, per working day. So 5 daily conversations that hit a goal of 24 transactions over a 12-month period. You guys with me so far? Simple math. Good to go. I got head nods. Appreciate it. Again, the formula is for every 40 people you dialogue with. So that's phone, text, video messaging, direct message, where there is some reference to business. You should get 1 closed transaction. Your results may vary based on your sales skills and your scripting. Scripting is a big part of it. Personally, again, doing this for 17 years, I've added little kind of tweaks to my scripts over the years, and I've seen the results. And those weren't me identifying that the tweaked in script. It was looking at a mentor or looking at someone who's doing double my business and seeing what they're saying, listening to podcasts, things like that, just kind of working on your craft on a regular basis. So remember, the goal of conversations is to book appointments, to move the conversation forward. Who realizes that you need to have more conversations to hit your goals? Got some eyebrows. Ryan's participating. I appreciate it. Thanks, Kara. So that's why we're here today, to help you guys achieve those goals. We're going to break this down by year, by week, by day, and really simplify your action items so you guys know what to do. Personally, I've been all over the place. I'm a big shiny object chaser, so I always think of the next big thing and go and chase it. But I've really tried recently to simplify my business in terms of a handful of things that I do well and people that I should be in touch with. And it's the same thing for you guys in your situations. And all of us have our own, different avenues, if you will. Some of us rock social media and get, 200 likes a post, and you can get a ton of traction from that. Other people hate social media, but they love talking to people at bars. Just kind of depends on where you're going with this. So again, here's another important metric for you to track. Conversations to appointments. This tells you about the effectiveness of your conversations. Good is like 10 conversations producing maybe 3 appointments. Poor, maybe 40 conversations producing, say, 3 appointments. So again, depends on your situation and what you're looking to do. But a poor conversation ratio could indicate that your conversations are ineffective. This may signal a need for better scripting, asking better questions, and improving your ability to build rapport and trust. It could also indicate that your leads are poor quality by reflecting on this ratio. You can work to improve your scripting and dialogue, or you can work to develop better lead sources. By the way, if you're looking for ways to generate leads from social media, video, Google, I do have classes and content that I'll be putting together, and I'm going to be rolling those out probably early next year. And we can dive into that sooner if you'd like to. So now let's look at appointments to listings and buyer agreements. So you've got qualifying, demonstrating value, presentation skills. This tells you the effectiveness of your ability to convert appointments to clients. How many listing appointments equal a listing agreement? How many buyer consultations equal a buyer's agreement? If your conversion ratio is low, either you are not doing a proper job qualifying during a conversation, not effectively demonstrating your value, or need to work on your presentations. Again, scripts and delivery, which I know some of you guys work on teams. That's why teams are great sometimes, to kind of just bounce scripts off each other, share your kind of war stories, if you will, and again, sharpen your craft on a daily basis. So now let's look at the listings to close transactions. Oop, too far there. A poor ratio here, say 2 to 1, could mean the property is likely priced incorrectly with what the market will bear. The marketing strategy for the property needs a reboot, or perhaps there are issues with the property that need attention. You guys follow me so far? Any questions? This all kind of makes sense. It'll come together a little bit more in a second here. All right, so now let's look at closed transactions to commission earned. This is fundamental for your business. All right, so this tells you how many transactions you need to close to earn the income goals you have set for yourself. This could also reveal potential issues around your commission fees. Are you discounting your commission too often? Want to make more money? How many transactions are needed, and what commission fee to meet your income goals? Now let's look at cost per lead. So if you're paying too much for leads, it's important to know how much each lead is costing you. The cost per lead can vary greatly depending upon your lead sources and your ability to close them. Facebook, Google, Zillow, Realtor.com are some of the more common sources for paid leads. If you're using one of those or considering them, knowing upfront your cost per lead will help you with expense planning and budgeting your business. Of course, getting your own leads from social media, your website, Google search are ways to create leads that you don't pay for other than your time. And again, I'll be teaching some classes on that early 2023 to help with lead generation. Who here is doing anything online, whether it's Facebook, Google, Zillow, Realtor? Anybody? HomeWise? Nobody? Okay, let's keep rolling then. Casey's doing it. Casey, what are you doing? Just curious. Facebook, gotcha. Well, we want to waste everybody's time with that. We'll dive into that separately. I'm curious to hear what you're seeing and how long you've been doing it for. A lot of those are top of the funnel, like 6-12 months out, but they can be good over time. All right, so now let's look at cost per sale. Cost per sale is the next step after tracking your cost per lead. And cost per sale adds up your total expenses per transaction. This is a critical part of cash flow management and profitability for your business. This includes your cost per lead plus property marketing costs divided by marketing costs, things like mailers, events, and then referral fees paid, if any. Knowing your cost per sale will give you insight into how much money you can invest to scale your marketing and lead spend, how profitable your business is before brokerage splits and taxes. So now let's jump into the business plan. I guess I want to ask so far, did the definitions and kind of reviewing that stuff make sense for you guys and kind of help a little bit with wrapping your head around this before we jump into the numbers? Perfect. Awesome. So let's take a look again, the fill in the blanks business plan that you guys have. Everybody's got that? Got it pulled up? All right, we're going to review a couple areas of the business plan template. The goal being for you to set aside some quiet time over the next week and complete your business plan. Here we go. Any good business plan starts with a foundation. Your foundation is your vision, your mission, your values. Your vision is what you want your business to look like in 3 to 5 years. Your mission statement is about who you serve and the ultimate purpose. Your values is where you'll get clear on what's important to you. So this is where you'll start with your copy of your business plan. This is for you to complete on your own. Everything makes sense with the vision, mission, values. Have you guys done this? Have you guys done this for yourself? I know you're all different kind of points of your career, but I'm curious if anybody's already kind of gone through why they're in the business and what resonates with them and makes them different or unique. If you haven't, again, This is all very important. This is probably the most important thing because it'll put kind of direction and guidance behind your purpose and your why, which can be difficult sometimes on the real estate or lending side, because a lot of us get in it to, make money, but that's not going to ultimately shine through from a long-term career standpoint. So if we were sitting alone and I asked you, tell me why you really got into real estate, what would you say? The objective of the mission and value statement is to fulfill your vision and live your purpose through real estate. So here's a few examples to help get you guys started. So we got Starbucks here, and their mission is to inspire and nurture the human spirit, one person and one cup at a time. It's not just about the coffee, it's about how customers are impacted by choosing Starbucks. I'll kind of give you an apples to apples comparison. Here's Dunkin' Donuts. Their mission, I'll read their vision. Their mission is kind of long and choppy. Believe it or not, this is actually from Dunkin' Donuts. It's not the most well written, but this is theirs. To be always the desired place for great coffee, beverages, and delicious complimentary donuts and bakery products to enjoy with family and friends. So it's a bit of a different focus. You guys feeling it's a little different than Starbucks? A little less passion, maybe more just transactional. Would you agree Dunkin' Donuts attracts a different clientele than Starbucks? Now you kind of see why. It's not by accident. Their culture and vision are unique to their brand, just like your mission and values are unique to you and who you are and who you want to serve. Make sense? All right, here's the Loken Group. They're a real estate brokerage in Houston, Texas. What's their mission? To inspire a positive, lasting impact. A little different than to list with me, isn't it? Not just, hey, I want to sell real estate. And here's their values. So we've got humility. Never forget that we owe everything to the efforts of each team member, our families, and our clients. Integrity. We promise to always do the right thing for our team, our business, and our clients, resulting in mutual success. That's a big one for me. Kind of like the golden rule: treat people like you want to be treated. Innovative. We pursue excellence by pushing each other to be better every day and seeing possibility instead of limitation. You guys get any sense of this isn't your average real estate brokerage? I'm curious, do you guys all have, for your brokerages, for Compass, Keller, et cetera, do you guys have those core values kind of front and center, or do they kind of keep those more limited and each team or agent kind of has their own? Front and center. None of the Compass people want to speak up? Ryan's asking someone in the room.
Yeah, Tony says we have it. I have no idea, nor do I use it.
Well, there you go. It's a great example. It's a good example. It's honestly front and center, but it's there. It's there. Yeah, Keller's big on the values, which I appreciate. Compass might just be too big for that, but to each their own. So here's the core values from one of the top brokers in the country, the DeLeon Group. So these are kind of hard for me to read here. Quality: we deliver only excellence and aim to exceed expectations in everything we do. Agility: we execute exponentially to address our clients' needs. And fun, that's a good one too. We believe in having fun at work and with each other. That's one of actually Fairway's core values: have fun. So why is having a mission and value important for our real estate career? How does it help you grow and manage your business? Anybody want to answer that? Fair enough, we'll roll. All right, so again, why is taking the time to get clear on your mission and values important? Because your brand, your customer avatar, your prospecting methods, everything originates from your business mission and values. Once you have a mission and value statement, you can then begin to get clear on your value propositions and personal brand. Who's read the book Start With Why? Simon Sinek. Anybody? It's a good one. So it's a great resource to help you with creating a mission and a value. He goes really deep on it and really kind of breaks it down. Personally, I kind of knew why I got in the business. It was to help people, and that was my passion, just from my upbringing, et cetera. So for me, that was easy from a lending standpoint. But I've expanded on that with education to ultimately empower people and allow room for comfort and confidence when they're buying a place, and not just for our buyers, but also for my agent partners like you guys to know that you're comfortable and you're confident that we're gonna get the job done at a very high level to get more referrals for all of us. And that's evolved probably in the last 6-7 years. And again, I've been doing this for 17 years. So it does take time, and it's an ever evolving process. I've done this, every year for a while. So don't just think you're going to, do one business plan here and have everything flushed out. It's a work in progress, but as you make those steps, it'll definitely help you. All right, so let's get back into the business plan template. Looking here now at your transaction goals. So again, this is not here for you guys to fill in right now. You can obviously make notes, etc. But I'm just going to give you a high level overview for you to dive into. You got to go back, check your numbers. You might have to make some of them up or kind of put your best guess forward in some situations and just kind of speculate. That's still going to be better than just saying, I'm not going to do my numbers. But this is where you'll fill in your 2022 actual transactions and forecast your transaction goals for next year, 2023. You can see it's broken out by listing and buy side, past clients, referrals, sphere of influence, etc. The more you can track your lead sources, the better you'll be at knowing where to focus your time and money. At the bottom, you'll see total sales volume, your total GCI, average home value, and average GCI. The GCI numbers are your commission before any splits. So make sure you do that correctly, or referral fees. Be sure to include those when calculating. Any questions? No? All right, the first section is where you'll enter your percentage of listing appointments that lead to a listing agreement, listings that close, buyer appointments that close, etc. You may not know your conversion numbers yet, but it's important that you do. Once you know how many conversations it takes to convert to appointments and to closed transactions, then hitting your income goals becomes simple math. Once you know your conversions, I keep saying conversions. Yeah, conversions, you can use that data to build out your conversations goal for the year and the week and the daily. So anybody walk through example? Or are we just going to keep flying here? Anybody want to jump into some numbers or no? I'm going to guess probably not. It's more of a personal task here, but I like to throw that out there when I'm running through these. All right, so then we've got obviously seasonality. I think everybody here is in Chicago. Yeah, so it's not the warmest right now. So yeah, in most cases, real estate's impacted by the seasons. I think, call it Q1 is probably the slowest of all the quarters for Chicago. So when planning your sales, it's probably helpful, especially in our market, to plan your income and expenses around seasonal fluctuations. Again, might be more heavy in the Q2 to Q4 timeframe, but in Q1 is when we plant a lot of our seeds to hopefully grow and the spring rains come and spring market comes around. So again, don't sleep on that. All right, this section of your business plan is all about marketing and lead generation. A good rule of thumb is to have up to 4 focused sources of leads and activities. Having one is not enough, and having too many is overwhelming. There are some examples provided for you here to help get you started. In your business plan, you have pages that are blank for you to fill in. If you want to collaborate on lead sources, we may be able to help you with that. If you're interested in talking further about your lead sources and systems, just let me know. As you guys know, I wouldn't be teaching this if I didn't want to help you guys and talk about this further. I kind of geek out on it probably more than some people would like, but always here to just, again, brainstorm. We can do some one-on-ones, and you guys all know how to find me, but I'll give you some guidance on that in a little bit here. All right, so you'll see 5 of these templates. Why they're 5, not 4, just one extra one in case you wanted to go above and beyond that 4 number. But again, getting really focused and sharpening your tool on 2 or 3 or 4 really good lead sources that's your bread and butter and genuinely organic for you to do is what you want to focus on. All right, sometimes growing your business means improving your operations by having the right people, process, and technology. This part of your business plan will help you identify gaps in your operations. Do you need to hire someone as an assistant, invest in new technology like a CRM? Do you need accountability? We all do at some level. Fill in where you need accountability on implementing your top priorities from this section. Share those with someone whom you want to be held accountable from. And if you need somebody, as you guys know, as I've said a couple of times, I'm always here to hold you accountable and help you out if you need be. So you guys heard of the saying, it's not what you make, it's how much you keep. Have you heard that? No. Quick tea break. So commission splits, expenses, taxes, cost of living, it all adds up. There's a difference between GCI, your gross commission, and your net income. So to be clear, this is not intended to provide tax advice. Make sure you guys have a good tax professional. If you don't, I've got a couple. Each commission check, you will need allocation for taxes, savings, living expenses. General rule of thumb some agents use is to set aside at least 30% of the net income for quarterly taxes. Having a business account for savings and expenses is a good best practice as well. Any questions there? No? All right, so that's an overview of the business plan template. Again, if you want to dive deeper into it with me, I'm happy to do that one-on-one. There's more in there, including the mission and values exercise and a self-assessment to help you get clear on areas of improvement. All right, so now we're going to look at marketing and lead generation ideas. So I don't want to just give you a business plan and say, hey, good luck with it, fill it out and rock and roll. This is probably the most important part, obviously, then with the exception of completing your business plan. But I want to give you some real action items here. It's slow right now. We know that. December, January, February tend to be on the slower side. I know we all get distracted with holidays, but given how slow it's been for the last handful of months, I know everybody that's on here is obviously looking to make some moves here quickly. So let's jump into it. So 3 things your database wants to know. They want to know how much a home is worth. Want to know, do they have the right mortgage? They want to know what's really happening in housing. So here we go, the Power Hour 90-day challenge. So here's an idea I want to put in front of you guys and consider taking on. Real growth and progress in your business sometimes requires short periods of intense, focused effort, like a plane getting off the runway. The window of time for takeoff to climbing altitude to reaching cruising speed is short. It's a burst of energy over a short period of time to reach the altitude and cruising speed. Some of you need a burst of focused energy to get your business off the ground. Once you reach a certain altitude, you can back off the fuel burn. Make sense? Ooh, sorry, I'm gonna stop my mouse here. So here's the challenge. For 90 consecutive days, not counting weekends and holidays. Oh boy, mouse is going crazy. Not counting weekends or holidays, commit to a daily power hour of calls until you complete 5 conversations with no excuses. Make sense? Simple? All right, so now we're gonna use an example. Karen Peters here runs a top producing team in Wayne, New Jersey. She and her team took on the 90-day challenge recently, and her whole team participated. While she admits the idea of committing to the challenge was outside of her comfort zone, which is where you thrive, she rallied and went all in. Each agent on her team committed to the challenge, and more importantly, each of them having the conversations. Here's what they achieved. They had 11 closed transactions, 23 more under contract, 28 new appointments, old lead follow-up. Pretty impressive. You guys agree? I don't know how big the team is. That's just a statistic I stole from this company. It could be 10 people, it could be 5 people. But point is, for each one of you, 5 conversations a day. It's not hard to do. You got to make plans for it, and you'll get better and better at it too. I jumped into HomeBot earlier. One thing that I love about HomeBot from a prospecting standpoint is once you get your people in your database up there, it's going to show you the activity log. So it's going to show you who's been recently on there and what they've been doing. It's real easy to call someone up or text them or reach out to them in any way, shape, or form, whichever, again, is more natural for you, and say, hey, saw you're on HomeBot. They don't think it's creepy. You're paying for it. You're giving to them. And just anything I can help with, anybody's looking to buy or sell, anything I have questions with, that's a much easier conversation than calling up someone you haven't talked to, being like, hey, so-and-so, how's life? Oh, by the way, I'm in real estate, in case you forgot. That's a tough conversation, and it usually looks like a money grab to most people, I think. So who do you call? Here's a few ideas. You got your past clients and database. You got all your leads, sphere of influence, friends and family. The key with the 90-day challenge is to build momentum, get your plane off the runway and climbing. So here's what do you say? These are pretty straightforward, but sometimes people need help with this stuff. So can I help with any real estate questions? Curious what your home is worth? Know anyone who's considering buying or selling? Have you considered investing in real estate to reduce taxes and build wealth? Again, straightforward stuff. You don't just jump into that stuff, but ultimately you want to kind of warm them up. And everybody, you guys all have your relationships, the people that you drop that in there. But the key part here is, in terms of kind of the overlying focus, is don't just have conversations with people about life. Remind them that you're in real estate. Something that I had to, I don't say come to terms with, but kind of start doing was asking people for business. You assume that people know that we work off referrals. They don't always know that. And unless they're like a sales role themselves, they're just like, oh yeah, my friend, I think Sarah actually just put something on social media the other day, like yesterday, about if you have one more person that tells you, oh yeah, I was going to send my friend your way, I'll send you the next one. It's like, how many times do we hear that? And it's like, oh man, we just missed that one. And you don't know if that one referral could have led to 3, 4, or 5 more referrals over the course of however long. So that little bit of an ask, a little bit of a script. And we say script, but the more you say a script, the more organic it's going to become, and more your words versus reading something off of a piece of paper, whatever it might be. So how often should you contact your database? Here's a sample plan. Again, not saying this is exactly right, but just give you some sort of framework. 4 phone conversations a year. Again, this is for the year. 1 to 2 client events, 12 direct mailers, 12 to 24 emails, and some social media engagement. So anybody want to speak up and say which of these 5 they could improve on that they're maybe not doing to the standards they think? Nobody had their coffee yet? I'll keep rolling. It's all good. I know for me personally, direct mailers, I'm not really doing them. Social media, I'm horrible at. Ryan loves to make fun of me for that. I'm trying to get better. Client events are tough on the lending side because of not meeting clients, et cetera. So it's a bit daunting to invite people to an event that you've never personally met. But for you guys, you should be doing at least 1 or 2 a year just to kind of reacquaint yourself with those people, or them with you more so. And I've got some ideas there, and I'm always looking to co-sponsor. It's easy for me because, again, asking my database to come is a whole different story than helping you support your database. All right, so let's face it, the past several years have delivered an excess of buyers and sellers, low rates, high demand, and the market's been pretty favorable. Too many agents have allowed the market to rise while their plans, skills, and systems have definitely fallen. So what changes are you guys going to make? And this is, a rhetorical question in response to the market, and how can I help? That's what you want to start thinking about here. So where do you guys need help? My goal as a lender is not only to deliver a world-class referable, white glove experience for my partners and clients, but to also help guide my agent partners in the areas that they want to help. Some of the more common areas agents want help in: marketing strategy, systems and process, social media posting, Google My Business. If you like help in any of those, working through your business plan or other areas, also lead conversion, I'm always here to help. Actually, it's the reason that I got in the business. Like I said earlier, I just enjoy helping people. I found that it's a passion for me, and that's why I do the volunteering too, that some of you have, participated in. But if there's something about helping other people and the law of reciprocity where it kind of comes back to you, not why I do it, it's just kind of a fun little, loop or circle of life, if you will, to kind of watch go around. So again, if any of you guys want to have a conversation, everyone knows how to get me, I think, on this phone, maybe, or on this call. Tony, I guess, yeah, I think everybody but Tony, sorry to single you out, Tony, has my information and knows me well. But if you want, you can go ahead and scan the QR code. It'll allow you to jump on my calendar. Obviously I prefer Zoom over a phone call. Just let me know. And then for those that want to really, break the post-COVID barrier and grab a cup of coffee, just let me know. I'm always here to help. So no obligations or expectations, just if you're open to it. And again, need somebody to kind of hold you accountable. In terms of next class, I'm doing one 2 weeks from today to be attracting and engaging the next generation of home buyers, talking about statistics. Some of you might have seen on my social media. I didn't put a ton up there yet. I've got some coming, but us Fairway folks listened to a guy by the name of Barry Habib talk about what's going on in the market and why, yes, it's pretty dire right now and it's much slower, relatively speaking, but there's a giant wave of buyers coming to market once they kind of avoid the mainstream media and rates dip a little bit here. And so we're going to be pretty busy. I'm going to guess probably Q2 of next year. Q1 might be a little tough, might be similar to what we've seen for Q4 this year. But this is going to teach you and help you understand how to get and engage some of those next generation home buyers that, the 25 to call it 35-year-olds. So if you want to, you can scan the QR code and go ahead and register. Also too, I'm going to be sending an invite out. I didn't put this in here, but I was just thinking about it. Similar to the Barry Habib market update. Any of you guys watched that, by the way, that we did it like 2 Tuesdays ago? I know my emails don't always get watched and people disregard them, but it was a really good one. I had a lunch with a couple of agents on Monday, and his questions were literally what Barry answered. And he was like, hey, are we going to see a bunch of foreclosures? Hey, are rates going to be like 10%? Literally, he was spitting out every, mainstream media headline that I've heard. And I'm like, as an agent, how do you not know that with more confidence? Because if you're at a listing presentation or a buyer, presentation, and they're asking these questions, you got to have an idea. Anybody have questions on that? You want me to go into more detail about my thoughts on foreclosures and all that, or are we all good? Casey says yes. So the reason there won't be foreclosures, it's simple supply and demand. We don't have enough supply, and that's going to keep prices where they're at. And also people are not struggling like they were in 08 and 09. And the framed foreclosure narrative that people might have heard in the last 12 months, that foreclosures are up 60%. That's because the prior year was COVID. There was a moratorium. You couldn't foreclose. So of course, foreclosure will be much higher. The statistic of 60% is like, oh my gosh, what's happening? But if you back it up to like a 10-year, even 20-year period, it's a blip on the radar, and it's all very, very normal stuff. In terms of interest rates, they've already started coming back down. I won't get too technical here, but the experts that I follow are predicting rates to be somewhere in the high to mid 5s by the middle to end of 2023. And again, once they get a little bit better and that narrative shifts a little bit, people are going to come out of the woodworks, because there's a lot of people that have been waiting on the sidelines. A lot of people that have been living at home with the parents, saving money with COVID. So it's going to be kind of gangbusters. And then last but not least, the reason we're going to see a huge wave of buyers, just based on simple numbers. What do I mean by that? The population and those that were born 33 to 36 years ago, it's a much larger population. And I shouldn't say much larger. It's a bigger population than the baby boomers. So it's the largest generation that we've ever seen, just based on pure population. And those people are more so renting right now than buying. And there's just not enough, again, supply there. So it's going to be a crazy market. Also, the same reason why right now is the best time to buy the next 5 years, because prices aren't going to dip because of the supply and demand that I mentioned. So any questions with that? Does that make sense? I'll go get some head nods. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Cool. All right, guys, that's it. That's all I got for you. Any questions at all? Anyone to jump into? Do you guys find this helpful? Thumbs up, Ryan, Kara, head nod. Everybody else is not on video. Hopefully they're still here. Somebody dropped off already. You're welcome, Casey. You're welcome, Dio. All right, guys, let me know how I can help. Have a good rest of the day and take care. Stay warm.
Okay.
Thanks.
You're welcome.